Good evening, everybody. At least it's evening where I am. This is Travis for Tpull's Corner. We're doing something a little different. This time we're going to have the gameplay later on because what happened was I opened up my deck list and there was 110 decks in there instead of 100. So what happened was Wizards went ahead and released their upgraded improvements to the 10 pre-made decks that they released a few months ago for Foundations. And a little bit ago, I covered these. I was extremely critical. It was obvious they were rushed out the door. Some of them didn't even have names. But what I'm going to do is we're going to go through all 10 of these and figure out what they added and what they removed. And here's the new one, Vampiric Hunger. And I went ahead and deleted some of them already. So we won't open up the old ones. We'll just get right into it. So welcome to Tpull's Corner. This one, there's a couple they didn't change very much with. So here we had an Ajani's Pridemate, and they took one Ajani's Pridemate out, it looks like, and they replaced it with Angelic Destiny, which is a mythic rare from Foundations, which is good. They also gave the deck a name. The original deck didn't even have a name. It did have the same creature for the cover, so to speak. It had a Linda for the deck sleeve, but this is good because originally they didn't give you the cards on the previous release for the 10 decks. They gave you access to them to use them for a limited time, and then if you didn't have all of the cards already in the set, you couldn't use them again. So even if if you had cards from a different expansion, like I had a Giada from Streets of New Capenna, and it wouldn't let me use it for the pre-made Foundations deck. I had to have the Foundations version with the expansion symbol from Foundations on Giada to use the deck. So this is good though, because this time every card that they gave you in here, it goes into your collection. So before we didn't have this mythic rare, now you got this mythic rare in your collection. Pretty good for an enchantment aura. Enchanted creature gets +4/+4. Flying in first strike, becomes an angel, and when the enchanted creature dies, you get to return this Angelic Destiny card to the owner's hand. So that definitely is a much more powerful card than a fourth copy of Ajani's Pridemate, right? So that deck is definitely an improvement. Let's go look up the next one, Arcane. Arcane Imperialists. Let's see, they added and changed some things from this one. I wonder if I have. Let me go back. It's hard for me to remember what I've deleted and what I haven't out of the 10. Let's bear with me for a second. There we go. This one didn't have the deck name. So this is one of the ones they were kind of lazy on. But let's see. What did they remove from this deck? Healer's Hawk they kept. Aegis Turtle they kept. Spectral Sailor they kept. Okay, so here they removed Dawnwing Marshal, so that's gone. They removed both of the Deadly Riposte. This is all the original draft pre-made deck that they gave us. They removed 2 of the Helpful Hunters. Let's see. They removed the Angel of Finality is now gone. They removed both of the Fog Banks. And they removed 2 Kitesail Corsairs. Say that 3 times fast. Okay, so let's go into the new deck. Type in Arcane again. They gave it a name. What are the cards they added? Let's see. They added a Spectral Sailor to it. They added one more Empyrean Eagle to it, so much more of a flying tribal type thing, right? They added 2 Vanguard Seraph. For 4, you get a 3/3 Flying Angel Warrior. Whenever you gain life for the first time, you surveil by 1. They gave us a Lyra Dawnbringer, a mythic rare. So again, an upgrade, right? Because this gets to come into our collection. And this is kind of a classic card. People who've been playing Magic for a while are really going to enjoy this card. Oh no, they did include the Fog Banks. Okay, so the Fog Banks are still there. That's cool. And what else did they add? Youthful Valkyrie. They added 2 of the Youthful Valkyries in their place. And they added 1 High Fae Trickster. So another flying tribal type thing. Flash flying, you may cast spells as though they had flash. Okay, so that looks like an improvement. That's kind of cool. All right, let's move on to deck 3. This one, they gave the deck a name. It didn't used to have a name. Let me change the colors. There we go. Did I keep the old one? The old one was just red and black. Let's see if I kept the colorless one. There's the Reckless Raid. No, it doesn't. So that's one of the 3 that I deleted already. But I did take notes on what they removed. They removed a lot from this. We had an Emberstorm Predator in here. We had an Tpull Primal Storm in here. So they removed some expensive stuff. They took out Null Priest of Oblivion. This is probably one of the biggest decks they changed. 2 copies of Garna, Bloodfist of Keld came out. 2 Heartfire Immolators, 2 Frenzied Goblins, 1 Thrill of Possibility, 3 Vampire Interlopers, 1 Fanatical Firebrand. It looks like they removed all of the goblins. 2 Undying Malice, 2 Scorching Dragonfires, 1 Goblin Oriflame, 1 Offer of Immortality, 1 Gorehorn Raider, 2 Gutless Plunderers, and 2 Burglar Rats. Okay, so they gave the deck the name. They call it Reckless Raid. What did they add? They added in 1 more Perforating Artist. So we went from 2 to 3 there. Instead of Undying Malice, they gave 2 Fake Your Death. I'm not sure that's the biggest deal as far as substitutions. I'm not sure why they make some of these choices. Seer Slicer Goblin they added in. 2 of Hero's Downfall instead of... So that's for your removal instead of the 2 Scorching Dragonfires. Which is... This is technically a better removal spell because it just absolutely destroys instead of doing 3 damage. So Scorching Dragonfire, it does exile, but it does better at just getting rid of the smaller creatures, whereas this has no such limit for a black removal card. They added in... Let's see, where else are you? 3 Vampire Gourmands. Gourmands? 2/2 Vampire. Whenever this creature attacks, you may sacrifice another creature. If you do draw a card, the creature can't be blocked this turn. They added in 4 of the Diregraph Ghouls, 2/2s that come in to play tap. So they turned this into a zombie deck, didn't they? They added in 2 Burst Lightnings for more removal. They added in 3 Infestation Sages. These weren't in the original deck. 3 Abrades are in there now. They added in 1 High Society Hunter. I'm not sure if that's good enough to replace the Tpull Primal Storm. And they added in 3 of the Slumbering Cerberus for 2 Dog. Creature doesn't untap during your untap step. At the beginning of each end step, if a creature died this turn, then you get to untap the creature. Alright, I'm not sure if that's much better than what it was before. But let's keep going. Okay, so next we had... This is one that didn't have a name before, too. So this one's called Might of the Legion. And it was red and white. So let's check and see if I kept the old one or if this is another one I already deleted. It looks like... Okay, so here. I had this one already, and I kept it so far, which I don't think I will. And the cool thing is, I mean, if you like the older pre-made deck that they had, the older version, I guess you could just keep it if you want. Okay, so here's what they removed. They removed 2 of the Leonin Vanguards. They removed both of the Savannah Lions. They removed the 2 Felidar Saviors. They removed Sir Alan the Lion's Claw, so no more 4/4 First Striker. They removed both of the claws out. So this was a 5-drop instant. Creatures you control get +2/+2 till end of turn. So it looks like they're taking out a lot of the cats and that kind of stuff. They took out both of the Prideful Parents. And they took out Make a Stand. Where's that one at? I don't even see it. Okay, and they removed these 2 goblins, the Fanatical Firebrands. Oh, there's Make a Stand right there. Another instant. Creatures you control get +1 and gain indestructible until end of turn. So they already have another deck that was centered around cats. So I guess it makes sense that they removed a lot of the cats. It looks like they changed it into a goblin deck. So let's go in here. What did we add? Let's see. They added in one more Crusader of Audric. Power and toughness are equal to the number of creatures you control. They added in Goldvein Pick. They added in, let's see, Aurelia the War Leader. Cost 6, Mythic Rare, Legendary Angel, 3/4, Flying Vigilance and Haste. Whenever she attacks for the first time each turn, you untap all creatures you control. After this phase, there's an additional combat phase. Okay. They gave us one Celestial Armor, Flash Equipment. Creature gains hexproof and indestructible. Then after that, they have +2 in flying. And then here's the goblins they had. They added 2 Frenzied Goblins. They added in a Seer Slicer Goblin. Create a 1/1 red goblin creature token if you attacked for the turn. We got 3 Fanatical Firebrands instead of 2. So they didn't remove those 2. They just added a third one. And then 2 Goblin Surprise. You only get to choose one of the 2. Creatures you control get +2 till end of turn, or create 2 1/1 red goblin creature tokens. Okay, well I like having that. One of my complaints was that we had overlapping creatures, and it looks like, okay, if we already had a cat deck and they're removing cats from here, then maybe we don't have quite so much stuff. But with that, let's go to the Cat Attack deck. Okay, so you see they kept the same name. They gave a different cover for it. This is the original, I think. And let's see. What did they remove? Okay, they removed Charming Prince. They removed Felidar Retreat. They removed the Regal Caracol. They did a lot of removals. They removed 2 pacifisms. Let's see. They removed both of the Inspiring Calls. I was playtesting this deck. These 2 cards they didn't do well in this deck, so that's a good removal. They removed both of the Dazzling Angels. They removed the Gnarling Colonies, which is probably good. They did remove the Doubling Season, it looks like, from here, which that was probably the best card in the deck. Wildborn Preserver they moved. They removed the 2 Mild-Mannered Librarians. They removed the Mossborn Hydra. I think that's over there. And they removed a lot. But a lot of these cards I was complaining about. They removed Sky Knight Squire. They removed both of the Wary Thespians. They removed almost everything, it seems like, didn't they? They removed both of the Snakeskin Veils. They removed the Armasaur Guide. 4/4 Vigilance, attack with 3 or more creatures. Put a +1 counter on target creature control. Let's see. They removed both of the Inspiring Paladins. Let's see. They removed both of the Wildwood Scourges. And they removed the Biogenic Upgrade. That's a lot. Okay, what does Cat Attack look like now? Oh, one of the things that they did, and they mixed up all the lands finally. So, for example, they added in 4 copies of Selesnya Guildgate from Foundation. So they fixed all the color mixing, or the color fixing from the land. So that was good. So most of these decks, in terms of mana generation, should be decent, just because they added in a lot of places for these dual color land type things. So that's good. Okay, they added in a couple more Leonin Vanguards. Let's see, they added in Arabo, the First Fang. Oh no, Regal Caracol is still in there. Okay, so we didn't lose that. That's in there. They added in 2 Dawnwing Marshals, so you get Flying Cat Soldiers. Added in 3 Savannah Lions. So really cheap cats. For removal, they added in 2 Banishing Lights. Oh, they didn't get rid of the Thespians. They actually added 2 more. So they went from 2 Wary Thespians to 4 Wary Thespians. I don't like that, actually. But they're cats. They gave us another Angelic Destiny. They added all the claws out here. We've got 4 claws out in this cat deck. They decided they liked claws out, just not in 2 different decks. And I think this, adding Angelic Destiny in here, we still only get 1 copy for our decks. I don't think they gave us 2 copies of Angelic Destiny, even though it's in 2 decks. I think they only gave us 1 copy. Let's see. They gave us 1 Unflinching Courage enchantment. Creature gets +2/+2, has trample and lifelink. And they added in 2 Giant Growths. So let's go just check this real quick for Angelic Destiny. We'll discard the changes there. We'll go in. Actually, any white deck would work, right? Just type Angelic Destiny, because I think I only had 1 copy before. Yeah, so they put it in 2 decks, but they only gave you 1. So all the decks that they give you, it goes and checks your deck list and grabs just the one that you need. So it's in 2 decks, but they only gave you 1 copy. Okay, next is Morbid Machinations. This is the original deck cover. This is the new one, so I haven't deleted these yet. So what did we remove here? They removed the Desecration Demon. So your flying 6/6 demon is gone. They removed both of the Thornwield Archers with Reach and Death Touch. They removed the Arbiter of Woe, another flying demon. They removed the 2 Moments of Craving. They removed the High Society Hunter. That card went into the other deck, right? And they removed 1 Gnarlid Colony. So not as many changes here. Let's go see what they added over here. And I'm just kind of doing this as a public service announcement in case people care, because some people do, but nobody else on YouTube is doing this, I don't think. So it's just my public service announcement for anybody who wants to keep track of the changes. Okay, so what did we add here? We added 2 Vampiric Rites. Enchantment to sacrifice a creature, you gain 1 life and draw. Oh no, they had 1 other one in there, right? So they just added 1 of those. Let's see. They added 1 more Wardens of the Cycle, 3/4 with Morbid. They added in 2 Eager Truffle Snouts, 4/2 with Trample. Added in 3 Llanowar Elves. And they added in 2 copies of Felling Blow. Okay. I think overall these are good changes. Okay, next. They changed the name of a deck. Okay, Draconic Dominance was the original one. It's now called Wondrous Wizardry. This one I think I didn't like because they took out some cards I liked. Let's see. They removed Micromancer. That's okay. If I'm going too fast, just pause it. If I'm going too slow, just speed on through. I'm trying to make sure that I pause long enough so that people can register and process what we're losing and what we're adding. They removed the 3 Crash Throughs. They removed the 2 Dragon Fodders to create 2 Goblin creatures. They removed both of the Thrills of Possibility. They removed 1 of the Balmor Battlemage Captains. And they removed both of the Mocking Sprites. They removed the 2 Inspiration from Beyonds. They removed the 2 Into the Royals, which I like that card, but it is one we've had a lot of experience with. So they removed both of the Firebrand Archers, and they removed both of the Fire Spitter Whelps. And the one card that I did like a lot, they removed the Right of Replication, which is too bad. Okay, so let's go in, and now it's called Wondrous Wizardry. Okay, they added another op to give us 4 ops. They added a burst lightning, so we have 4 burst lightnings. They added 2 G2 lava runners, so we have 4 G2 lava runners. So less variation and more of just giving us 4 of everything. They did add 1 of Niv Mizzet, Visionary, Legendary Dragon Wizard, 5/5 with flyers. That's kind of cool. They added 2 Arcane Epiphanies, instants. You can draw 3 cards. They added 2 Mischievous Mystics. Whenever you draw your second card, create a 1/1 blue fairy creature token with flying. They added the 2 Heartfire Immolators. They added 3 Dive Downs. And they added 3 Chart a Course. And they added 1 Ovika Enigma Goliath. I'm not sure I like that change overall, but I guess I'll take Niv Mizzet in there. Okay, next, Learn from the Land. We've got two of the decks here. The original one here with loot. Loot Exuberant Explorer. Let's see what they removed from here. Is this the old one or is this the new one? I think this is the new one. Let me go see. Yeah, okay, I think... Was this the old one? Yeah, I remember Primeval Bounty. Loot is still there. Yeah, I think this is the old one. Let's go and look. There's Prime Speaker Zagana, and I think they took Zagana out of that, right? Okay. Yeah, because I remember they had the bears in the other one. So this was the original. I guess the bear cubs. They took out the bear cubs. Alright, so we lost Prime Speaker Zagana, which was kind of a shame. We lost Hero's Bane. They took out the 2 Witness Protection. That's fine. We already have access to that. We lost the 2 Trigon Predators. We lost 1 Felling Blow. They took out 2 of the Starlight Snares. They took out a Lunar Insight. They removed these Bushwhacks. They removed the 2 Unsummons. And they took out Rite of Replication again. Okay, so let's go to the new one. And what did we add? Okay, so they didn't... It wasn't that we lost Felling Blow, it's they added 1 more Felling Blow. They added in 2 Quick Studies, 3 of the Exclusion Mages. When this creature enters, return target creature an opponent controls to its owner's hand. They put in 2 of these Apothecary Stompers. Your choice of putting 2 +1 counters on the target creature you control or gaining 4 life. 3 Llanowar Elves again. We've got 2 Spectral Sailors. 2 Mischievous Mystics, and ramp. We've got 2 Circuitous Roots. Yeah, I don't know. Alright, next. Here's another one they changed. This was Undead Resurgence was the original name. Now it's called Graveyard Gifts. I think this is one of the big theme changes on this one. Let's see, we had 4 Diagraph Ghouls in here. Those were zombies. They removed the 2 Eaten Alives. They took out both of the Cemetery Recruitments. They took out both of the Resembling Skeletons. They took out Zolasher the Lick Lord. They took out Death Baron. Let's see, they took out both of the Hungry Ghouls. They took out all 3 of the Crypt Feasters. So they took, it was a zombie theme. They just sort of took the zombies all out. They removed both of the Deadly Plots. And they removed both of the Tragic Banshees. So now instead of Undead Resurgence, we have a deck. Let's see, what's the name of it? Graveyard Gifts. So it's now from a zombie deck, it's sort of like a reanimator deck. They added in a Crow of Dark Tidings. They added in 2 more Stabs. Let's see. They added in these lands at least. Dismal Blackwater's in there. They added in 3 Gleaming Barriers. When this creature dies, create a treasure token. They added 2 Brineborn Cutthroats for flash. They added 2 Arbiters of Woe, so finally we get that demon back in this deck at least, and 2 copies of them. They added in an Abyssal Harvester here, so some of those that they took out of the other deck, they decided they wanted over in here instead. And they didn't want a zombie deck anymore. Let's see. We got 4 Dreadwing Scavengers now. Threshold, draw a card, discard a card. We got 1 Rise of the Dark Realms. Put all creature cards from all graveyards onto the battlefield under your control. That is a cool card. We got 2 Billowing Shriek Mass. Another Threshold. They gave us 2 Essence Scatters for this one. And 2 Bake into Pies for removal and counter spells. And then 3 Zombifies to return the creature from the graveyard to the battlefield. And then finally they added Arcanus the Omnipotent. 3/4, draw 3 cards by tapping. For 4, you can return Arcanus to the owner's hand to save it. I think this is more interesting than the zombie deck, so I'm going to say they did okay on that one. And then the last one, they changed the least, I think. Pass? There we are, Path of Power. And did they have... Was this one that they gave a name to? Let's look for red and green here. See if we can find the older one. No, I must have deleted that one. That's probably because that was the 3rd one that I deleted. Okay, so the only thing that they have that they took out loot, because we have loot in another deck, and this is my complaint. If you're going to give us 10 pre-mades, they shouldn't have the same legendary creature be the center focus of 2 decks in a row. You need to give us some variety. So they did do that. They removed loot from here. And the one thing they added is they added in Vizier of the Menagerie, which is a good card, and it's a mythic rare, so I'll take it. I think that was a good change. The rest of the deck looks the same to me. Alright, so those are the changes. Let's go in and let's check out Learn from the Land. Let's see how the new version works. And if you happen to be an anal retentive person who's obsessive compulsive and you don't feel like you can change these decks up because Wizards made them, they're an official product, right? Even though they gave them to you for free, they're on Arena. You could, if you've got more room in your deck list, you could keep the original unchanged and you could go clone it and then just make all the changes you want. You'll still have the original and then you can still tinker. This Learn from the Land might be the only one that I keep from the old 10 versions. Just because they changed so much of it. Although I kind of like Draconic Dominance with the Right of Replication card. It looks like we're ramping and card drawing, whether we wanted to or not. We will keep our elf. Go ahead and do this now. Let's go ahead and get the gates. They did not draw a land. They won't be too hurt. They could cast a 4-mana spell next turn. Let's go ahead and just put this puppy down. See if that puts a halt to the 1/1s attacking. Or the ones that are more than 1/1 attacking past my 1/1. Railway Brawler, great. Sure, why not? Get the last one of those out. And we can still afford to bring down the mild-mannered librarian. Well, the deck did good at ramping. I just need something else now. Now that I got almost half the lands out. They spent a lot of time thinking about that. That's a gross card. Alright. So what we want to do is we want to throw that back away, and then we want to pump this guy up and deal damage to the Railway Brawler, and then we can still refill our hand. Good job, good job. Now they can still afford to bring this down, but we've got somebody who can block it. Oh, they don't bring it down this turn. They bring him back. Great. All that effort. Okay, we'll make this a 3/3. Bring this puppy down. And then I think it's okay for us to do some attacking. Okay, now do they want to repeat the plot and then Bloodthirsty Conqueror routine and get a 10/10 flyer down? Do they have enough time? That would give them another 10/10 flyer again, but it would take 2 turns. Can't believe they've only drawn 1 extra land this entire match. They don't bother with plot. You just bring it down. It does have reach too, which is a problem for me. Alright, what happens if I draw... I'm not sure that was the best draw. Just see if we can power on through. They may just take it and go down to 5. Nope, they're chump blocking. Okay. Yeah, saw that coming. They had this peerless recycling right when they needed it, didn't they? Now I'm facing the same problem all over again. Alright, we'll do that. And we can also bring loot down. No tax. Yeah, as long as they don't have removal, we can actually block the Bloodthirsty Conqueror. Although it is kind of weird how we stopped drawing land. Look at that, 4 lands and they've got an entire army. Impressive. There's that much ramp with 4 Druid of the Kells and they got them all. Hey, there's a land. Bring this puppy down. Oh, that's a good card. No attacks. We've now basically got our combo between Primeval Bounty, powering up loot, and drawing extra cards. We should be okay. Go get a creature. I like the idea of this one. Let's throw you up away. And we'll keep drawing. And we'll keep drawing. Should I just be attacking at this point? Am I playing with my food? I don't think I have lethal yet. That's interesting. Peerless Recycling, they used it on a 1-drop creature. Well, I guess that was their only choice, right? That was the only thing they had in the graveyard. They could have attacked with the Bloodthirsty Conqueror, and I would have had to double block with my flyers and then used Peerless Recycling. Trigger, trigger, trigger. Who do we want? They give up the ghost. All right. So if we go back to the older one, I feel like I like the older one better. I like having the unsummons. I like having the 2 Trigon Predators to get rid of enchantments and artifacts. I like having Prime Speaker Zagana. I loved Rite of Replication. I love the card draw with Lunar Insight. Although we did get to use both of the quick studies that they added to the deck for that new one. And I will say, using this Learn from the Land, there aren't many of the pre-mades that I used, but I did get one achievement from using Learn from the Land. Land, we do need land. We need at least 5. We're going to have a slow start here. If they get some creatures down, we're going to have some troubles, aren't we? Let's just bounce that now, I guess. Now, if they have a fight spell or a deal damage spell, we're in trouble. They're digging. Ouch. Why wouldn't they attack with that? We didn't draw the land. I think maybe they're just going to go for the 20, right? If they get another land drop. They got the Mossborn Hydras. They just need one more land. Ah, they got it. And now what can I do? There's literally nothing left for me to do here. Yeah, nothing good there. I'm basically dead. That's kind of the dream hand for me. I didn't really have any removal per se. I was supposed to know to save the unsummon, evidently, for this later. That's only 20. Okay, so we tap you. We auto pay for the ward cost. What else can we do? We can attack with these guys. Oh, they don't fall for it with the Mossborn Hydra. Alright. I was hoping they'd block. I guess we'll just end the turn. If they have one more land drop, or a deal damage spell, they can get us. They had just enough to stop us because they didn't have enough mana generation to pay for all the ward costs. Oh, do they not have land? Land would have been the perfect draw for them. I still have to get rid of everybody to block that. Alright, so we do Felling Blow against this. We pay it. And then we pay to fight. With this one against this one. And then, what's left for us to do? I guess this. If they ever get rid of this enchantment, we are so toast. So Bushwhack isn't going to help us now. And they can just sit there. Trigger, trigger, trigger. They don't have trample. Ah, this'll work. Wait, I don't think I can pay for that yet. I gotta pay attention to the ward cost. Let's pass. Witness protection on my creature. Okay. So only a couple of triggers this time. Let's take care of the one with trample. And then we attack with Sigarna. And then we fight. And then the one they got just keeps getting stronger and stronger and stronger. Ah, that's what I wanted. We were going to at least be able to fly over and get rid of both of these. And then just keep building up our stuff. Too frustrating for them. 100 creature on the board. And they couldn't do it. Alright, so I think from the Learn from the Land, I think I'm going to keep that one. For all of the others, I think I'm okay with deleting the other 6, and then I still need to figure out one to delete so I can make some new decks. I do have some that you haven't seen yet that I'll be putting out over the next couple weeks. Pay no attention to those. But yeah, Learn from the Land is kind of cool. I guess I would say they took a lot of my advice. I don't think that they were actually listening to me, but when I made the first examination of these 10 pre-mades before, I was pointing out a lot of the cards I had problems with that I thought were lazy construction. I didn't even think should be part of Foundations. And I made a lot of objections, and I made a lot of, if I were king for a day, this is how I would have made the deck, or this is what I would have changed. And I'd say they probably took about half of that advice and took out a lot of the cards that I was bringing up and put in a lot of different cards. So I think overall, they spent this time wisely, I guess I would say. They went ahead and improved pretty much all of the decks, and they did finally decide to go ahead and put final names to them. If they changed the direction of a deck, they changed the name of the deck as well. I might also keep the Draconic Dominance deck as well as their new Wondrous Wizardry deck, and just to trot those out and see how they perform. And then I'll keep all the new pre-mades that they brought out this time. I'll just delete most of the old ones. At least 8 of the old ones I'll delete. And so I guess we'll end it here. I'll go ahead and ask you to like and subscribe. We picked up a couple of trolls who keep adding disliking the video, so I don't get that many likes as it is. So I think my dislikes are starting to outnumber my likes. I don't know if that matters. If for YouTube, if bad publicity, if bad publicity still equals publicity, so any publicity is good publicity, or if I should be asking you to add on more likes than y'all usually do, just to help me overcome that if it's causing any negative effects. I'm not sure what YouTube considers important these days, so if you know, leave me a comment. Let me know if I should bother trying to garner more likes, or if it matters that we have trolls that are showing up specifically not to watch the videos, but just to dislike them, just because for some reason I offended them somewhere along the way. But if you do want to see me try out some of these pre-mades, go ahead and let me know in the comments as well. I've done the original 10, and you saw me compare the 2 Learn from the Lands right there. But if you want, I could go take out some more pre-mades just to demonstrate them for y'all if that's what you like. Again, just leave a comment and let me know so that I know to do it, and we'll have something different for you next time. Thanks, everybody. Have a good one.